Okay, welcome to Into the Channel, a podcast primarily about women's football, maybe primarily about the Women's Champions League. We'll talk about that one later.
Yeah.
Before we hit the pitch, if you enjoy the show or love women's football as much as your boys do, come kick it with us. We're doing this every single week, sometimes twice a week, as we are this week, spanning the wide world of women's football. Subscribe, follow YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you like to watch or listen. At ITC_pod on X is where to find us. I am your host, Dino DeCespedes, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Grant Engel. What is up, man?
I'm feeling fantastic, buddy. You know what you mentioned. Are we primarily a UEFA Women's Champions League podcast? I'll answer it with this. Goddamn right we are. Because the Champions League is awesome. I know it's over. Dino and I know it's over. We don't want it to be over yet. We're ready for the next Champions League, but we're not quite ready to move on. So we're going to do one more show about it.
A little rundown of what we're going to do. This was on the heels of UEFA announcing their 11 for the tournament, but we said, get out of here with that. We're going to do our own 11, not of who we think is the best, but who we think are our favorites. So we're going to call this our favorite UEFA Women's Champions League 11. We're each going to pick players. We can't pick each other's players. So once a player's been selected, they are off the board. And then we're going to do a little handy-dandy imaginary head-to-head between our two squads. Maybe we'll put it to a vote. Follow us on Twitter. We would love to have you chime in on YouTube. Just chime in wherever. We'll kind of loosely tabulate what's going on. We're really just here for the vibes. So I have to give you the first pick. I want to give you the first pick.
Wow.
So a little bit of a curveball. You know, I want to maybe put a little psych you out here, a little playing some mind games. You know, see if you see I can catch you off guard. So, Mr. Grant Engel, where do you want to get started?
Mission accomplished. Consider me psyched out.
Let's go.
I can't believe I have the first pick here. Aitana Bonmatí. She's the best player in the world.
Real quick, in my notes, I have Aitana Bonmatí, best player in the world.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, come on. What are we talking about?
It's like almost like you're looking at my screen.
This is a LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Darko Milicic draft.
Hey, Carmelo, let's go.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ, I'm half Knicks fan. I'm 50% Knicks fan. What is the matter with me? Good
You're not going to be able to show your face over there.
Oh, terrible by me. And I know you won't edit it out either. So
that stays in, buddy.
Horrible mistake by me. No disrespect, Mel.
Darko, you took Dark. You're like the Pistons. You're like the Pistons
went for the
of the
joke.
pod world. You took Darko over Carmelo. Unbelievable.
Oh my God, I went for the joke with Darko and I forgot about my guy Mello. Okay, anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of good options here. In any other draft, there are multiple players who would go first. Aitana Bonmatí is pretty clearly the best player in the world. Ask Chris Sharples. Don't come at Lucy Ward even suggesting that somebody else could win the Ballon d'Or. It's Bonmatí. I'll take her first. I'll be happy with that pick.
I like it. All right, well, I'm going to continue the Lucy Ward, Chris Sharples dynamic here, and I'm going to take Caroline Graham Hansen. Just some funny stats. So in the Champions League, she finished first in assists, shots, passes into the penalty area, goal-creating actions, progressive carries, and carries into the penalty area. This one's my favorite. She was first in progressive passes received with 139.
Okay.
Second in that category was Salma Paralluelo with 99. She had 40 more progressive passes received in the second place in the entire tournament. I mean, she had an unbelievable year. Just couldn't play any better. Caps it off with the Champions League victory. Lifts a trophy. I mean, you can't go wrong with, I think, either of our first two picks. I think it wasn't going to not break this way. So I think we're off to a blazing start here.
You got me with the psych out, but it was only because I expected you to have the first pick and take Bonmatí, and then for me to do the thing that whatever NFL draft that was, where the Texans took Jadeveon Clowney, and then the Saints ran up to the podium and was like, Reggie Bush, we take Reggie Bush. That was how I was going to treat CGH in this case. So yeah, this was never going any other way. So with the third pick, you mentioned her, despite only having a lowly 99 progressive passes received in the UEFA Women's Champions League. Give me Selma Paralluelo. I like my chances with her on the field, no matter what.
All right, Paralluelo's off the board. I like it. I'm going to go with a little bit of a curveball here. So this player, she absolutely bossed the eventual champions in Barcelona. And to my dying day, I will believe that Chelsea gets past Barcelona if this player is on the pitch in that second matchup. Give me at the forward spot, number 9, Mayra Ramírez. Let's fucking go. CGH, Mayra Ramírez. I already love that pairing.
Absolutely fantastic. Full disclosure, I was going to pick her because that physicality, like the way she changed things, I think you're 100% right. I think things look different if she's not out there. I realized I picked Barcelona in that second leg just because I was terrified to pick against Barcelona until we get to the final and I lose my mind and pick against Barcelona. It's fine.
Well, Asil talked us out of it for 80 minutes. Got us hyped up on Lyon, so you fell right into that trap.
I blame you, Asil. No, shout out to Asil, the GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you got Ramírez at number 9. I got my left winger. I got a great center mid. Where are we getting value? We are going to take, I don't know, I'm curious to get your reaction on this. At center back, give me Wendie Renard. She's one of the greatest players who's ever lived. The size, the smarts, the consistency. Every match she plays in, she's at worst the third best player on the field, no matter what game you're talking about. So give me the anchor in defense.
I love that pick. Absolute legend, according to our friends at FBref as well. All these stats, for the most part, are courtesy of our friends at FBref.
Of course.
She was first in Aerials 1.
Yeah.
92.3%.
You don't say.
Have no chance going against Wendie Renard. Okay, so that one hurt, but I like where I'm going here. Give me Kiera Walsh.
Good.
Obviously, another Champions League winner, 92.3% pass completion, second best for non-goalkeepers. She was third in the entire tournament with 90 passes into the final third. And I love this stat. Plus minus, a little bit of basketball sprinkling in here. She was plus 27 for the tournament, first overall. And it's not just a Barcelona thing. I think Bonmatí was like plus 22 or plus 23. So she was still amongst the Barcelona players above and beyond everybody else at plus 27 plus minus. And she was number 1 in minutes played. She logged 969 Champions League minutes. Let's fucking go. Kiera Walsh, welcome to the squad.
Great pick. Lioness. Let's go. You can't go wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of the Lionesses,
Ooh.
I'm just taking her on just GP. Lauren James, our gal, LJ.
Ooh.
I mean, we talk about it. What, at worst, the 7th best player in the world?
Mm-hmm.
When she's out there cooking, the shape of the offense is completely changed. That first leg against Ajax, where she is offside and then she comes trailing back and she's not in the play and knows she can't be in the play, but every defender has to freeze because she's just in the vicinity of the ball.
Incredible.
She contributed to a goal from an offside position where she's legally not in the play. I have to go with LJ on this one.
Tremendous. I'm a little bit bummed because now I know. Well, where do you have LJ?
I'm playing her at right midfield.
Okay, I like it. I got to do it, man. First ever ITC Hall of Famer, game winner versus Barcelona, 5th in interceptions, 1st in tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Erin, smash a beer can on my forehead, Cuthbert. Let's fucking go. She is off the board. And you know what they say? The draft starts at 9.
Of course. I mean, come on. Can't possibly argue that pick. You put the captain's armband on her.
Let's go.
Between her and CGH, you just have an absolute stalwart and absolute professional to go out there. So I can't argue with that at all. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to go back to the defense. You named it. We love it. Basha ball, buddy.
No. No.
I'm sorry to do it to you. I know she's one of your absolute favorites. She's too good.
Damn it.
It would be silly for her to last many picks beyond this. One of the best left backs in the game. I think Olga Carmona would probably have a lot to say about that. But give me Selma Basha, her service, her ability to kind of initiate offense, and just a fantastic Champions League campaign for her.
Totally. Yep. Made it to the final. The stats back it up. Number 1 in shot creating actions, 3rd in goal creating actions, 1st in crosses into the penalty area. Yep. So, I mean, it was danger anytime, she was on the ball for sure. I think I'm kind of overlooking my defense here. Not liking the way this is going. Give me Tabitha Chawinga.
Oh, good pick. Yeah, great pick.
First in successful take-ons, fifth in goals. As dangerous got in that tournament, she was the one that every team that went against her had to game plan for, even though they had absolute killers all over that front line and just pretty much all over the field.
Yep.
She does kind of balance out my front three. Now I've got CGH, Chawinga, and Ramírez, which I really, really like.
Oof. That's a hardcore front three, buddy. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not too upset. Where are you going next?
Okay, so I got 2 picks in the midfield. I got 2 picks in defense. I only have a left winger in Paralluelo. I will not use the term right winger to describe anybody that I like. That's a different podcast. But playing on the right wing in the attack, Kadidiatou Diani.
I knew it. Yeah.
Can score from anywhere. I mean, you've had to listen to me talk about her since the 2023 World Cup. She's just one of the most majestic footballers in the world. Can score from 30 yards out if you need her to. Will be in the right spot. Can give you some good minutes tracking back in defense. Love absolutely everything about her game.
Love it. Great pick. Let's see. Where do I want to go? I'm going to kind of dip into this is tough. Give me I'm going to need to take a center back here, and I'm between 2 names. I'm going to take Irene Paredes.
Good pick.
She stepped up huge in really, really tough matchups. I think we were not sure, how the Paredes-Engen, center back pairing would hold up against just the best of the best in Europe. And She held up and then some. She was great. Completed 90% of her passes, which was good for 4th in the Champions League for non-goalkeepers. And she was just rock solid. I mean, I feel pretty confident having Paredes back there.
Yeah, great pick. Showed up, needed. I wonder about this, and this is with no insight whatsoever, but when you have to ask Ingrid Engen to kind of drift back and be like, okay, we're going to put you in this center back role. We're down Mappy Leon. We need you to fill this spot. And Engen, handled it about as well as you possibly could. There were some questions early. We talked about it in the group stage. How is she going to hold up? I always kind of wonder, playing the crappy level sports that I played, you need a good teammate next to you to be like, come on, you got this. You know what to do. Think about it from this angle and to kind of help you on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard to believe without doing the reporting. I would find it hard to believe that Paredes did not help her in that transition. And I just like that part of somebody being a teammate, aside from her just being a majestic player on her own.
Yeah, I absolutely believe that. I mean, you can see her leadership out there.
Yep.
And Barcelona just never, how many times does a camera catch a little side eye or a little thing? You're like, oh, I noticed that was a little off,
right.
Or maybe,
especially in football,
a couple players not celebrating with and I think you never saw anything like that with Barcelona. You just kind of have to imagine that their leadership, top to bottom, must have been just absolutely cemented, and they just didn't waver at all. Outside of the one stumble versus Chelsea, which they ended up overcoming the following week anyway. So you are up. Oh, let me do a quick count where we're at. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're 6 in. So we've got 5 spots left.
Who did you pick before Chawinga?
Before Chawinga. So I have Ramírez, Chawinga, Graham Hansen, Cuthbert, Kiera, Walsh, and Paredes.
Oh, Walsh. Right. So speaking of club captains, for a team that went awfully far, I got to start thinking about my kind of defensive midfield here. Give me Grace Gayoro.
Damn, another one of my favorites.
Scored a banger against my England side in the international play, but what she brought to the Champions League this season, all over the field, steadfast leadership. She can take penalties if you need her to. She's going to give you toughness. She gives you size. She gives you speed and strength. She's the total package as a defensive midfielder, I think.
Absolutely. 3 assists in the tournament, led the tournament in fouls drawn. She drew 21 fouls.
Hell yeah.
That kind of says a lot, where she's just basically controlling the game. I think you kind of made my next midfield choice a little easy, just because I was sort of trying to decide between these 2 players. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the supernova from Ajax, Lily Yohannes.
Sure. Got to do it.
Earlier this week, we kind of recounted her explosive debut for the U.S. women's national team in a friendly against South Korea. I mean, we've got plenty of tape from your boys on Lily Yohannes. You can go back and listen to our entire library. We've probably got, I don't know, a couple hours at this point. So she's in my midfield. Let's go.
The Wonder Kid from Virginia in the United States of America, playing for Ajax in Amsterdam. Great poise. Wise beyond her years on a football pitch. You listen to her interview with Sam Ewis. Wise beyond her years as an intelligent young woman as well. I mean, again, we always say, I always like to couch it. You don't want to heap too many expectations on a young person like this. But knowing Dan through these internet streets the way we do, she's got a great support system around her. It's just hard to see anything but an upward trajectory for her moving forward.
Totally agree. All right, who are you taking?
Well, speaking of youngsters, I need a left midfielder. So, let me think. Who's a club that I care about? I probably should take a player from there. I'm going to take Signe Gaupset because she will bully motherfuckers out on the field. She is strong. She is smart. She will hold the ball against Barcelona when she needs to. She will score the critical equalizer in the snow against Lyon in front of the battalion. Let's go. Signe Gaupset. She's my left midfielder. One of my absolute favorite players that when we set off on this journey, if you would have told me like, hey man, you're going to start really loving a club from Norway and you're going to make a bunch of internet friends from Bergen, Norway, I'd be like, okay, that seems weird, but it's possible in international football. I'm so glad it happened. I love watching Gaupset play. Gotta be on the squad.
I kind of want to go back to that first couple of Champions League shows because we were on it. I think the first, we're like,
immediately,
hey, who's that?
Yo,
she's tough.
Yes.
Great pick. Brann also in the news this week.
That is correct, my good man. Brann is in the news. Let's read a little bit in a segment we like to call reading. Press release from SK Brann. Brann brings UEFA ruling to the CAS, which is the Court of Arbitration for Sport. And it all boils down to UEFA's disciplinary body has twice in the past 6 months fined SK Brann for messages from the stands. In both cases, and this is a quote from Brann now, quote, in both cases, we believe that the message is well within the limits of freedom of expression. We have a good dialogue with UEFA at a higher level, but feel that the matters themselves are not dealt with in a satisfactory manner. At the same time, the cases raise fundamental questions about the conditions of freedom of expression in football. We appealed the first case to UEFA's own appeals committee, but were rejected. End quote. So for anybody who's kind of catching up to this story, we got a lot of pals over in Bergen who still watch the show, even though Brann's been out of the Champions League. We love you guys. Brann fans jokingly, and again, I want to stress, Brann fans, no official statements from the club, when fouls were called against Brann players, were using the term UEFA Mafia in some of their chants. Just kind of say like, hey, we're this little plucky club. You want to see the bigger clubs in there. Dino and I, as NBA fans, we already know what time it is when you play against the Lakers, when you play against the Knicks sometimes. You already know you're getting some calls against you in those situations. When you go against those cruddy Celtics, you're getting some calls against you in those matches. Brann fans jokingly are kind of making these UEFA Mafia references, and UEFA says, you know what? You hurt our feelings. We're fining you 5,000 euros for these chants. An absolutely ridiculous decision by UEFA. These are not official statements from the club. Nobody is saying that UEFA is fixing matches. These are fan chants. Please stop with this ridiculous quashing of just chants that are clearly done in good fun.
Amen to that. And who knew there was a court for arbitration for sport? How do we get involved in that? Seems like a cool job. We got enough jobs. I'll scratch that. All right, back to the draft. Where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I like what I got there. Give me... Damn, this is tough. I'm going to take Ellie Carpenter right back.
Oh, good pick.
8th in plus minus. She stepped up huge against another one of my players, Tabitha Chawinga. Just seeing them run side by side, that was some F1 shit right there. Mm-hmm. 2nd in minutes in the tournament behind Kiera Walsh. 14 carries into the penalty area. That was good for 6th. And, I mean, she was just an important player for Lyon, taking them to the final. Love her game, and I'm happy to kind of drop her onto my squad.
Great pick. A person who I believe we have asked the question. I know I have specifically asked the question throughout the UEFA Champions League. Is Ellie Carpenter the fastest person alive? In some stretches where I just cannot believe how fast she is. And to see her running with Tabitha Chawinga in those matches were just fantastic. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. And I think you've inspired me to look back at my defense because I also have two players back there. I have Selma Basha at left back. I have Wendie Renard as one of my center backs. I'm going to take another center back, and I'm going to take another French defender, and I'm going to take Elise de Almeida because my team will fight you.
I love it. I love the fighting vibes. I mean, De Almeida, Gaupset. I mean, you guys are ready to throw down. I like it.
Lauren James might step on you if you're not careful.
Yeah, Lauren James, Basha. She might fire one at you. Wendie Renard, she's there to kind of intimidation. I like it. So that means I probably need a center back and a left back here. Center back's down to 2. Who do I want to go with? I'm going to take Jess Carter from Chelsea.
Good.
I think she's super tough. She showed up big time against Barcelona. She's just a big game player, very smart, very effective. And I need a little bit of gruff next to Irene Paredes.
Love it. I think that's the right call. Carter, big physical center back. We're talking about my team having the ability to fight. Carter doesn't really show a lot of that, but is just a bully out there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, love that. Love that style. I have yet to pick a number 9, and now obviously part of that is the draft strategy. We're only 2 squads picking here. So I am between – let me just ask the question. Sam Kerr, is she – she's not available because of the injury, right? I feel like that would be fair.
I'm glad you asked this because did a lot of stat crunching. I've got my Apple IIe back here, just kind of with smoke coming out of it, trying to figure out who we're picking here. So Sam Kerr somehow notched 5 Champions League goals, which was good for 5th in the whole tournament.
Sure.
The leader in the tournament was Kadidiatou Diani with 8. So you're getting a top 5 goal scorer. I think we'll allow it if you want to go Sam Kerr. I think that's fair.
You know what? I do feel like it's a bit of a cheat. I want to back off it. Let's mention Sam Kerr because it's incredible that she had 5 goals.
One more real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. 1.38 goals per 90 minutes.
Yeah, come on now. Let's go. Yeah, she was cooking. Yeah, she had that one, like that super long range goal. I can't remember who it was against. Might have been against Madrid. She had one match where she had like a supernova performance.
She also had one header where I had to ask a question on the show. Can she dunk a basketball?
She's 5'7", and just when we do our Olympic preview and when we hopefully we will talk to a journalist from Australia, I feel like we should pose the question to that journalist. Do you think Sam Kerr can dunk a basketball? I think that's a question that has to be asked. So let's just shout out Sam, get well in your recovery. I'm going to name her because she's one of my absolute favorite players. I'm going to take at number 9. The only Marie Antoinette we recognize on this here program. Marie Antoinette Katoto, just an absolute lethal number 9, a pure number 9, somebody who you want up there making the runs, really handled herself about as well as you could up there with Chawinga for PSG. You could do a hell of a lot worse than Katoto up there.
100%. Marie AK, second in the tournament in goals with 7, and obviously took her team to the semifinals. Shout out to her. That leaves me with one more field player, and I'm going to take at left back from your champions, Barcelona. Give me Batlle.
Nice.
What else can you say? Absolute gamer. 5th in assists. She notched 3 assists, but I think her game is so much more than that. I mean, she's up and down the field, super dependable, and obviously was part of the team that lifted the trophy. Both trophies, if you also count the World Cup last summer. So shout out Batlle. Welcome to the squad. My left back for this year's UEFA Women's Champions League. Favorite 11? Vibes 11? We're going to have to work on the branding. We'll go with favorite 11 for now.
I like it. So I am going to round out my... Oh, no. That was my last... Katoto was my last pick.
Yeah, that was your last pick. We got goalkeeper.
Okay. My lineup's going to look a little funky. Fuck.
Oops.
Shit. Okay, I know how I'm going to do it though. Okay, so I got to round out this draft with a goalkeeper. Perhaps the celebratory beers during these podcasts
And
maybe
the
got in
psych
the
out.
way. Yeah, and the psych. I think you got me, man. You got me with that. That's okay. We're going to be all right. We'll figure it out. So with my goalkeeper pick, I think I'm going to surprise you with this one, but maybe not. Give me Jennifer Falk
No.
from BK Hacken because
Damn
she had
you.
a hell of a tournament.
That was my goalkeeper. Fuck.
Okay. I
Jennifer
did not
Falk.
surprise you. Nicely done.
82% save percentage, good for second in the tournament. 40 total saves, also good for second. Second in clean sheets with 3.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine BK. Who had money on BK Hacken getting 3 clean sheets in this tournament? If you did, shout out to you. She was really, really good. We talked a bunch about their back four and Falk, like just being a freaking fortress. Like you just couldn't do anything. I mean, they blanked Chelsea like on the way to the quarterfinals. So I think that's a great pick. I don't have any Brann players on my side, so I'm going to do it. Give me Aurora Mikkelsen from SK Brann.
Nice.
She is my goalkeeper. Let's fucking go. Love the vibes. Now we've got, a little bit of Brann flavor on both ends, and I think we've got a couple pretty solid squads. Before we get out of here, though, I want to name some players. One of your favorite games. Mm-hmm. Who are maybe some of your toughest cuts?
After Ellie Carpenter, thinking about right back, I think the 2 toughest cuts are probably Ashley Lawrence and Lucy Big Game Bronze. I think they both are locks for a lot of 11s. I know Lucy Bronze was in the Champions League in UEFA's tournament 11. So you got to shout out her and Bronze's performance in the final. That just speaks for itself.
Unbelievable. Yep. For me, it came down to Carpenter or Ashley Lawrence. I just kind of went with Carpenter on that one. Wanted to shout out a couple more players. There were some favorites. AS Roma's Manuel Giuliano.
Great.
4 assists in 6 matches. I think all 4 might have been to Valentina Giacinti, who we should also call out here. Just great player, great run for AS Roma. Would have loved to see them in the quarterfinals, but obviously Group of Life. That whole pod was pretty stacked. Kika Nazareth, Benfica.
Yes.
Tough cut for me. I mean, just an electric player. Didn't really have the stats or productivity, but she obviously missed a couple of those matches. But you just felt when she was on the field, it was like some energy in the building. Do you have any other players that you wanted to shout out here?
I mean, speaking of Benfica, Lena Powles was great in goal for them. How many times have we talked about Sakina Karshawi at left back? I mean, that's such a crowded spot. Yeah. Hard to get her in here. I was curious if you're going to take her. I mean, Batlle is obviously a great pick. You got Basha. And I mentioned her earlier, kind of in passing, Olga Carmona. You could have probably tried to find a spot for her in multiple places on the field. I'll talk about Selena Hossein from Perry FC. I thought she was a great center back, played bigger than she was. We talked about her with our pal Cam Pope on the call. One more I want to throw out before I pass the ball back to you. Justine Jelland. Two massive goals for Brann. Just an incredibly promising young player out there too. So I mean, you got to remember Jelland's goal to keep it close versus Lyon in that first match they played against them in the group stage.
Oh yeah, big player and a huge future in front of Justine. So we're excited about her. A couple. I'll mention a few more. You mentioned Paris FC, Chimaka and Nadozi.
Hell yeah.
Can't go a whole episode without mentioning her. Lindsay Horan. She's out there logging those kilometers. Obviously takes her team to the final. 5th in assists as well in the tournament with 3. And the last one on my short list, Rosa Kafaji from BK Hacken. Also super young player. 4 goals, good for 10th. Carried Hacken into the quarterfinals. And let's not forget, BK Hacken got into the quarterfinals by overcoming Paris FC, who we mentioned, and Real Madrid. So
pretty good.
Not too bad. Oh, one more. Vanessa Gilles.
There we go.
She was also first place, plus minus. She was plus 27 for Lyon, tied with Kiera Walsh. And she was number 1 all by herself in XG plus minus at plus 25. So, she had her moments. When you look at the totality of the tournament, excellent run for Vanessa Gilles. I wanted to give her a quick shout out.
Totally. Thinking about Lyon, when you mentioned Gilles, Damaris Egarola, Daniela Van de Donk, Melchi Dumornay, Other great players. And then Delphine Cascarino, who came on relatively late in the Champions League and was a fucking game changer from the time she stepped on the pitch.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up Mayra Segurola. I love when there's a stat where there's just a huge gulf between first and second. So
Yes.
Ariel's 1, Lyon's Lindsay Horan is second in that category with 29. Mayra Segurola is first with 51. Almost
Let's
double.
go.
She was a beast and just kind of dangerous from all over. She had a great tournament too.
Yeah, she was absolutely incredible. There is a reason we talked about her so much in that battle against Bonmatí, like going into the final. We knew that was going to pay dividends. I think if the last player, I know we're doing let's name some players. We've named a lot of players. The last one I got to mention, Cecile Reddish Kavame. That goal for Brann, the equalizer, the hands on the face in the 39th minute. Come on, man. If that's not, we were alive when that goal was scored.
Oh my God, we were living. Great call. Great call. Yeah. Shout out to Brann again. Great tournament. Martin Ho, if you're watching, come on the show. We want to hear about it. We know you follow us on Twitter. So come on, man. All right. I think we did it. We will be posting these teams. Let's do a quick run through of the teams. I'll run through mine. You run through yours. I'm going to go from back to front. I've got Aurora Mikkelsen in goal. My back four, Ona Batlle, Irene Paredes, Jess Carter, Ellie Carpenter. Love it. Midfield, Kiera Walsh, Lily Yohannes, Erin Cuthbert. And then up top, I've got Carolina Graham Hansen, Tabitha Chawinga, and Mayra Ramírez.
That's pretty good.
Thanks, man.
A lot of good players. All right, so I will go. Yeah, so from goalkeeper, I have Jennifer Falk from BK Hacken. Left to right in my back four, which might occasionally turn into a back three, but give me from left to right, Selma Basha, Grace Gayoro, Wendie Renard, and Elise de Almeida. The French connection back there.
I like it.
In the midfield, we're going to go from left to right again. Signe Gaupset on the left, Aitana Bonmatí in the middle, Lauren James on the right. And then from left to right up top, give me Selma Paralluelo on the wing, Marie Antoinette Katoto in the middle at number 9, and Kadidiatou Diani on the right.
Great draft. There's something about these drafts that are a little bit magical here on the ITC. I always appreciate it. Well, let's just kind of more drafts, I think, unless you guys hate them, and then I'm sure you'll let us know in the comments. Also, please let us know in the comments who you think ended this draft with the better squad. We had a blast doing this draft and just kind of watching the Champions League, rewinding all the way back. The Sam Kerr callback, incredible. Like we got 5 Sam Kerr goals in this Champions League. I feel like they were a year ago.
Oh yeah,
what a tournament! I think we finally can conclude our Women's Champions League coverage. Let us know in the comments how you think we did. Anything else you want to hit before we get out of here?
I think that's it, buddy. I feel like we have extensively covered this tournament. I'm just excited to watch it again next season.
Let's go. All right, man. I think we did it. It's been another episode of Into the Channel. Thank you for watching, listening, liking, subscribing, letting us know who you think ended the day with the better squad. And remember, like if you liked, and subscribe or follow Into the Channel, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to watch or listen at ITC_pod on X. And a big thank you to my co-host as well for maybe being a little susceptible to the psych out.
Man,
I appreciate you.
You know what, buddy? Credit to you for employing the psych out. I'll tell you, I was the frozen goalkeeper there for a moment. I know that's one of your favorite plays, but yeah, thank you to everybody for rocking with us. I mean, the UEFA Women's Champions League is the impetus for this podcast. Just know, all of you folks out there who check out the show, you're all the number 1 pick for the Into the Channel podcast. So we will see you guys next time.